Let's start off with Munich. More and more and more people are calling this man the 2028 leading Republican presidential candidate. The only thing, if he can get past the primary of beating J.D. Vance, because J.D. has the Turning Point USA organization, J.D. has some of the younger folks, and he has a bigger out there market. But when he hit the stage, Rob, if you can find a clip of when Marco hit the stage, folks, people lost their, I mean, you don't get this kind of reaction at these types of events. They clapped for him in his speech 3 times. One time he's just kind of going through the speech. They stopped him in the middle of his speech just to give him an applause, and he was in the middle of his speech, Marco Rubio. It's a 26, 27-minute speech, and there's like 5 minutes of Q&A they do at the end. But, Rob, if you don't mind just showing the applause at the beginning. Go ahead, Rob.
Thank you. Thank you.
I know it's standing. Oh, mind you, they didn't show the audience. They're
I know
standing
they don't show it. So now go back to the other clip. He made a couple incredible comments that were, the word I could find, it's like a leader challenging everybody, yet encouraging to unify, yet being humble and teaching history of how we once used to be hundreds of years ago. It was just a phenomenal speech. Go ahead, Rob.
The United Nations still has tremendous potential to be a tool for good in the world. But we cannot ignore that today, on the most pressing matters before us, it has no answers and has played virtually no role. It could not solve the war in Gaza. Instead, it was American leadership that freed captives from barbarians and brought about a fragile truce. It has not solved the war in Ukraine. It took American leadership in partnership with many of the countries here today just to bring the two sides to the table in search of a still elusive peace. It was powerless to constrain the nuclear program of radical Shia clerics in Tehran. That required 14 bombs dropped with precision from American B-2 bombers. And it was unable to address the threat to our security from a narco-terrorist dictator in Venezuela. Instead, it took American special forces to bring this fugitive to justice. In a perfect world, all of these problems and more would be solved by diplomats and strongly worded resolutions. But we do not live in a perfect world. And we cannot continue to allow those who blatantly and openly threaten our citizens and endanger our global stability to shield themselves behind abstractions of international law which they themselves routinely violate. This is the path that President Trump and the United States has embarked upon. It is the path we ask you here in Europe to join us on. It is a path we have walked together before and hope to walk together again.
Tom, thoughts on this?
It was a tremendous speech. I felt that it was, I'm going to use a word here, I felt it was presidential, it was leadership, it was global stage. He then summed it up and made several, actually he had many summation points, and he would come to a summation point and he would say, you're our heritage, we came from you.
Yeah.
We came and built the U.S. with you. We cannot succeed without you. Our success is your success is our success. We have to do it together. And he made clear points, like the UN point there, without basically, attacking Kofi Annan and all the corruption of the past. He simply says the UN couldn't fix these things. American leadership did. And then he sat back at the end, and the one caution I loved, he said, I don't remember the exact words, but it was, we will not sit politely by and watch the decline of the West, meaning you and us. Just cautioning and saying, hey, look, when it comes to it, American leadership is going to step up. I loved his look, and I loved the fact they were paying attention. You notice they weren't rolling their eyes and tipping their heads the way they do sometimes when someone comes to stage. People were attentive. People were forward. They had their translators in their ears, and they gave him applause a couple times and then gave him a standing ovation. I love this speech. I loved his presence. I loved what I saw. This is American leadership. That's what it's all about.
Vinny.
I mean, I love Tom. He didn't apologize for our country. He didn't bow to the crowd. He pushed back and defended America. He didn't do what Gavin and all these traitors, in my point of view, this is my opinion, did, and we'll get into that later. But, Pat, you know what it is? He's you know what he is? He's a second string quarterback that is showing up in practice and is making the coaches go, you know what? I don't know, guys. We might have to have this guy be a starter. He has Trump's policies, okay? He has Trump's love for America without Trump's like volatility because of what the media has done to him. His parents are from Cuba, legal immigration, loves the country. I'm telling you right now, that on that stage with this speech, in my opinion, there's not even a question anymore. And I love that you said that, Pat. That JD is the younger, is the TPUSA. He's on Theo Vaughn.
It's important, though.
That's big time. I
very
agree
important.
with you. I agree with you 100%. But when it comes to, and by the way, I think he's qualified to do the job. But this guy right here, Marco Rubio, from what I'm seeing, you know how they always say Trump's not presidential and Trump isn't this. This guy's presidential. He loves the country. When he goes to other countries, he stands firm and tells them that they're the problem, they have problems, but we have to work together. I think he's a stud. I love him.
Yeah, I want to go to another clip, and then, Adam, I'm going to come to you. Rob, what other clips do you have? Do you have the clip of when he says the following? There's a line where he says, it was this continent that produced the genius of Mozart and Beethoven, of Dante and Shakespeare, of Michelangelo and Da Vinci, and of the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. And they started laughing. These momentous and these monuments and artists testify not only to the greatness of our past, but to the promise of our future. The message was so unifying. The message was so, he said another thing where, Tom, you were kind of trying to quote him. He said, while we are prepared, if necessary, to do this alone, it is our preference, and it is our hope to do this together with you, our friends here in Europe. And we care deeply about your future and ours. And if at times we disagree, our disagreements come from our profound sense of concern, okay? Both our histories and our fates are linked together. There was another message he gave when he says, we got to get off this thing about fear. Rob, can you search on the words, on the transcript, fear of climate change? Type in fear of climate change. Go to that part, Rob, and then go back maybe 5 seconds prior to that. I just love, he says, enough with this fear porn. Look at the way he puts this together. Go for it.
Is not just a set of bad policies, but a malaise of hopelessness and complacency. An alliance is the alliance that we want is one that is not paralyzed into inaction by fear. Fear of climate change, fear of war, fear of technology. Instead, we want an alliance that boldly races into the future. And the only fear we have is the fear of the shame of not leaving our nations prouder, stronger, and wealthier for our children. An alliance ready to defend our people, to safeguard our interests, and to preserve the freedom of action that allows us to shape our own destiny. Not one that exists to operate a global welfare state and atone for the purported sins of past generations. An alliance that does not allow its power to be outsourced, constrained, or subordinated to systems beyond.
I just love the way he put this together. To me, he's officially #1 draft pick for 2028. #1. And I think the reason why JD is asking to be able to solve the California issue is because he knows he's behind the 8 ball right now. And by the way, if he's president, he calls JD to be VP, JD's not taking it because nobody wants to be VP for 2 different presidents. He'll become the first in history to do so. You don't want to make history doing that. And I don't think JD will do it. I think he would take somebody else as VP. There's something very, very attractive about the way he's handling business. Adam.
Well, in my opinion, little Marco has completely grown up. I mean, playing the long game, whether it's in politics or in real life, sometimes it's not your time. It was not little Marco's time in 2016, but it certainly looks like this will be his time in 2028. Look, the world is a dangerous place, man. What's going on in the world with China trying to have worldwide hegemony over the United States, whether it's Iran holding the world hostage with their nuclear deals, North Korea. We know how well-versed he is as what's going on in Latin America, especially Venezuela. His parents are Cuban. He's from Miami. Shout out to Miami. But the world is a better place and a safer place when America leads. So this is what American leadership is. And then he's almost like Trump, but with a little bit more poise. Not as much style, but more substance. And he basically said, guys, we need you. You're our allies. And it's kind of like pick a lane. Do you want to be on America's side or do you want to be on the globalist China side? And he went one by one. Pat, I don't know if you saw that, when he goes, Britain, this is what you did for us, okay? Without you, we wouldn't be here. French, the Enlightenment, thank you for that. New Amsterdam, now it's called New York. Went country by country, city by city. You helped shape America. So, I mean, in my opinion, it's a little too early to speculate on 2028. But in my opinion, this is that dude right there.
Listen, in 2022, I speculated that Trump was going to win and the stock market was going to go to 50,000. It is on time to speculate. And I'm telling you, I'm speculating a lot right now. By the way, here's a part. There's obviously 2 years left, 3 years left till that time comes. But what's his resume look like right now? What's JD's resume look like right now?
Oh, dude, it's not even close.
No, but I'm being serious. Yeah. What's the resume look like right now? You know what this administration could do? You know what this administration could do? This could be the first administration where, you kind of think about the power of being a VP, where VP is kind of like, because remember in that movie Vice, with the scene where Dick Cheney is going around talking to people and says, who the hell is a vice president? And what the hell does it mean to be a vice president? It's like, hey, you're just a token. You're just a guy that has a position. Dick wanted to get stuff done, right? Yeah. Dick was a doer. Love him or hate him. He wanted to get stuff done, his own agenda. In this case, JD, I believe, was the right pick that Trump made for VP. I think it was the right pick. But I also think this guy, on Saturday night, we're having dinner, and we're walking out, and Vinny says, Gashmai Tiligavai. And I'm like, what's he saying? And it's Sean Hannity. Sean Hannity walks in. We have a nice 15-minute conversation together. And he's talking to the girls and sending them, having a conversation. And I said to him, I just want you to know, for me, I'm not speaking on him. I'm telling him. I said, this is the number one draft pick right now, something very, very attractive about him. And I will tell you, in business and in politics and in military, you have two different types of leaders. You have wartime leaders, you have peacetime leaders. The problem with wartime leaders sometimes is they don't know what to do during peace. They create war. I don't know if that makes sense. A wartime leader always needs chaos. They are the one you hire during chaos to fix the problem. But if you're not too careful, guess what the wartime leader typically does? They tend to always create chaos. This guy, you know what Rubio is showing?
What?
There's a very interesting thing with Rubio.
Well, he said
Rubio is showing that he can be a. When you think about him, do you think about him as a peacetime or a wartime guy?
Peace.
Tom, what do you think about him?
I think he's an interesting hybrid. More of a peacetime guy, but he's a hybrid.
I think he's 70-30 peace. But that 30 is a good enough of 30.
That's good
meaning
enough.
He's capable.
Same page.
Meaning he's capable. Well, I think Trump is a 70-30 war is what he is. I think Trump is the guy you put in to solve the problem. By the way, since 2015, 2016, nobody could have done this job better than Trump. There was not one candidate in America that could have done what Trump did. Not one candidate in America. This one won't last a second, folks. We're at the Pentagon. I don't know where we were at, Department of State. Guy pulls up to us and says, you know what's the only thing I don't like about you guys? I said, what's that? I'm trying to see what he's going to say. Tom was right next to me.
Yep.
Your limited edition hats, when you announce, sells out immediately. And some of us that don't watch the videos until the afternoon, we don't get a chance to get it. I said, dude, I can't do nothing about it.
Yeah.
Here's the latest limited edition. Look at how this beautiful hat, yellow hat, 250th anniversary. Go ahead, Rob.
February is about discipline. The habits built daily. The consistency that shapes who we become. Resilience, responsibility, and the courage to move forward with conviction. Consistency creates confidence. Confidence fuels consistency. Honoring our past gives purpose to our future. At 250 years strong, one message stands clear. The future looks bright at 250. One nation under God.
Limited edition, 250 hats. Like I told you last time, the last one sold within the first 100 minutes that we had, a little over an hour and 40 minutes that we had. It was gone. This one's going to go in no time because this is as we go further, the hats get more and more limited and until we get. But this is going to be the one. Some of you guys are going to own all of them. And if you guys don't pick this up, you can still buy this on eBay when other people buy them and post it there. So go pick this one up. There's one that's black and silver. For some of you guys that don't get access to this one, the black and silver is not limited. It's one that anybody can order.
That's sick.
So you can get that one as well. Place order for both of them because these sold out last time and we have to get a whole new shipment coming out, so they don't get there till March. Anyways, having said that, go to vtmerch.com, place your order there.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.